Rams insider Myles Simmons here breaking down the 2015 schedule. We've known who the Rams will play for some time now, but now we know exactly when they're going to play them. So let's start with Week 1 against the Seattle Seahawks at home, two-time defending NFC champions, and they'll be coming into the Edward Jones Dome on September 13th to play at noon. And of course, now the Seattle Seahawks have been great for a number of years, and they'll have Marshawn Lynch back after re-signing him to a contract in the offseason. And of course, they'll also have that Legion of Boom with Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, and Cam Chancellor. Now moving on to Week 2 against Washington, the Rams will travel there, and last time they met was December of 2014 when the Rams won 24-0 in that second consecutive shutout. Now then in Week 3, the Rams will come home to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now the Pittsburgh Steelers and Rams actually haven't played since 2011, but you know, the Pittsburgh Steelers are really a model of stability in the league. They've of course had Mike Tomlin now for 9 seasons in 2015, and they'll also have Ben Roethlisberger, who just signed a contract extension that will take him through the 2019 season. Moving on to Week 4 with the Arizona Cardinals, the Rams will travel to Arizona for that game, and last year the Cardinals won 31-14 over the Rams. Of course, the Rams took a 14-10 lead into halftime of last year's contest, but few late turnovers really were costly, and Arizona ended up winning that game. Now, when we go to Week 5, the Rams will be playing Green Bay in Green Bay. Now, last matchup, the Packers won 30-20 in October of 2012 at the Edward Jones Dome, and of course, the Packers have Aaron Rodgers, and as long as they've got Aaron Rodgers, they're likely going to be competitive. Week 6 is actually the bye week, and the Rams will come out of that with a nice little homestand, 2 games. The first one will be against the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Browns have had their quarterback issues in the past, obviously. Now they've got Johnny Manziel and Josh McCown on the roster, but they're led with a pretty strong defensive secondary with Joe Hayden and Dante Whitner. Week 8, San Francisco will come into town under new head coach Jim Tom Sula. The team will actually have to replace star middle linebacker Patrick Willis and then emerging star Chris Borland after both of them decided to retire following the 2014 season. Then Week 9, the Rams will travel up to Minnesota to face the Vikings. Last year they played in Week 1 when the Vikings defeated the Rams 34-6, but that was before Teddy Bridgewater took over at quarterback. He's obviously a very good emerging young star, and the Rams will have to contend with him. Then in Week 10, the Rams will come back home to face the Chicago Bears, and they're under new head coach John Fox. Now, they've got Jay Cutler, and Jay Cutler has had his issues, but they also have running back Matt Forte, and with those two guys on offense, they could still be a pretty formidable bunch. Then in Week 11, the Rams will travel to Baltimore to face the Baltimore Ravens. Now, they went 10-6 last year, but that was only good enough for 3rd place in the AFC North. I think that tells you just how good the AFC North is. In Week 12, the Rams will stay on the road to face Cincinnati, another AFC North opponent. The Bengals were 10-5-1 last year, which was good for 2nd place in the AFC North. But this year, the Bengals are really going to try to break a streak of getting to the wild card round and then losing. They've done that for the past 4 seasons. Week 13, the Rams will come home and face another divisional opponent in the Cardinals. Last year, the Cardinals won 12-6 in December on Thursday Night Football. And then they'll stay home for Week 14 against the Detroit Lions, who finished 11-5, good for 2nd place in the NFC North last season. Their first year under Jim Caldwell. Now, Matt Stafford threw over 4,200 yards with 22 touchdowns, and of course, they've got Calvin Johnson. Though he wasn't completely healthy throughout the year, he still made 71 receptions for over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns in 2014. Tampa Bay Buccaneers will come into town for Thursday Night Football in Week 15. That's the Rams' only primetime matchup of the 2015 season. Last year, the Rams won 19-17 at Raymond James Stadium over the Bucs. The Rams have actually won 3 straight matchups over the Buccaneers in 2012, 2013, and 2014. And the Rams will finish their last 2 weeks on the road. They'll actually go to Seattle for Week 16 as opposed to Week 17. The Rams, of course, have finished the last 3 seasons in Seattle in Week 17. But this year they will finish in San Francisco, and that will be their last game of the 2015 season. So there you have it, folks. There's the 2015 schedule for your St. Louis Rams.